Hello everyone, and welcome to our segment on Eat More Vegetables. We are always honored to work with Chef AJ and Charles and connect with all of you out there in the audience. At the end of this presentation and when we come back live, we're actually going to be speaking about the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle and our upcoming Raw Food Mastery Summit. And speaking of connecting and speaking of that summit, we've had Chef AJ on our summit to interview her and to make some really fantastic recipes on several occasions. A few years back, at the end of the interview, I asked her to summarize what she said and cover any key points. One of the things she said was so simple, yet it really stuck with me because it's so important. She said, learn to love vegetables. We couldn't agree more. We absolutely love vegetables. And if you think about the world and its nutritional status and all the problems that creates, people are overfed and they're undernourished. Vegetables are the ultimate antidote to that. If you think about all of the different categories of foods, including all of the different categories of healthy, whole, unprocessed plant foods, vegetables are simultaneously the lowest in calorie density, so you can eat lots of them and fill up and feel really full and satisfied without an excess of calories. And they're also the most nutrient dense. So you can be super nutrient dense without too much body fat. They're absolutely phenomenal. There are many, many different ways to eat vegetables.
Yes.
We happen to love salads. And believe it or not, these bowls here are a typical salad that we will eat every night.
That's right.
So with mine over here, for example, I've got approximately a pound of lettuce, a pound of zucchini. This has about a half a pound of cauliflower, but I actually eat about a pound total of that each day. So that's 3 pounds of raw vegetables. And then dressings are a great way to make the salad delicious, so you'll have incentive to keep eating a lot, as well as get some even more vegetables into your diet. Now, as important as vegetables are, not all of you are necessarily going to be as enthused about eating salad as we are.
Yes.
So what you could consider this is that this could be a giant batch that you could then have over several nights.
Right.
Batch making food saves a lot of time. And in fact, the dressing that we're going to make, even for our gigantic salads here, typically lasts us 2 or 3 nights.
Mm-hmm.
So in any case, just please keep that in mind. Don't think you failed if you're not eating this mass quantity. But nevertheless, if you're really enthused, this can really help. So I'll let Dr. Karin take it away. A little bit more about the batch eating, and then I'm going to come back to make a super flavorful and versatile salad dressing.
Excellent. So, as you can see, we've got a very large salad here. This is a regular size mixing bowl that you can use to put all your salad together. And if you want to eat the whole thing, that sounds great, because that's something that we really enjoy doing. Now, what do we actually have in this bowl? In this bowl, we have 1 head of romaine lettuce. And it's important to realize that not all romaine lettuce heads are going to be the same size. Some of them are going to be smaller, some of them are going to be larger. This head that I used was about 6 cups. So 6 cups of chopped romaine lettuce in this salad. And then in addition to that, I've got about 4 cups of chopped cucumber, along with 2 cups of shredded carrots and 2 cups of shredded zucchini. And in addition to that, one of my favorite salad greens, which is dandelion greens, about 2 cups of that chopped. And I love dandelion greens. If you don't like dandelion greens, there's plenty of other types of leafy greens out there that you can use in addition to your lettuce. Or if you want to leave it out, that's perfectly fine too. I just love the taste, the bitter taste of dandelion greens. So as Dr. Rick said, you can actually use a salad like this for batching. And I have a couple of examples here that you can use. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some of the salad and put it into smaller bowls here just to show you different ways that you can enjoy salad. So here's one bowl right here. And then we have a smaller one over here too. If you're just getting started with eating salad, a smaller bowl might work better for you. And then you can gradually build up. When I first became interested in plant-based eating and ultimately raw food, I started with small salads, kind of similar to this one right here, this smaller one. And then I graduated to this larger one. And then as time went on, I eventually ended up with a salad that was this large. And yes, I do enjoy it. And I do have it just about every single night, and I feel great. What's wonderful about it is that it's satisfying, and I really enjoy the flavors. And I understand that sometimes raw vegetables might not be as tasty when you're first getting started with them, but if you give it time, you'll start to realize that the delicate flavors that you find in these salad ingredients are actually really tasty. So next, Dr. Rick is going to come out and talk about
our dressing. But a couple of thoughts came up when Dr. Karin was sharing that. So this is the final product. It's hard to mix in a bowl like that. So what we typically do is take a bigger metal industrial size mixing bowl and mix all the ingredients in there. And then if we want, we'll put them in the fancier bowl here. But to tell you the truth, most nights we just eat our salad out of our really big bowls. That's one less bowl that we have to clean up. And a lot of you who are Chef AJ fans know that Chef AJ is a big fan of Dr. Alan Goldhammer at True North Health, where I spent my first 4 years in practice. Dr. Goldhammer says something really funny. He says, your salad should be so big that you should be worried about your back when you pick it up because it's so heavy and it's so big. And that's another one of those things that has really stuck with me over the years. Dr. Karin and I typically say, you know, when you get together with your big extended family, there's 14 or 20 people or so, and they put a big salad bowl out, and then that's for everybody. That should be your size bowl. So, but again, if you're not quite that enthused, that's okay. Whatever you do, good, better, best. And by the way, you can also add, a cool thing to do is to make a warm salad also. You could add some steamed vegetables to your salad as well. A lot of times people find it easier, especially as their digestive system is getting accustomed to eating more raw vegetables, to make some of them steamed. And then you can actually eat a larger quantity of vegetables. And as much as we love raw food, we also love steamed vegetables. So getting to the dressing. This is a super flavorful yet versatile dressing. So what we're going to do is I've got here 10 to 12 Roma tomatoes. Some Romas are smaller, some are bigger. One of the main reasons we like Roma tomatoes is because they're less expensive. We eat a lot of them, and the cost difference really does add up over time. We're not going to slice these big on a sandwich or a hamburger or something like that. That's probably why they're less expensive, because they're not as in demand. We're going to blend them, or we're just going to eat them regularly. So it could be 8, it could be 12 or 15. And we actually have an extra big blender carafe here that we like to use to make our large batches of dressing. So 10 to 12 Roma tomatoes, about a half of a typical medium onion. We don't necessarily have a preference whether it has to be a red sweet or a Vidalia or a yellow onion, but I'm just going to throw the onion in there. This is very, very simple. I'm going to put the lid on. And in this particular case, this happens to be a vacuum seal lid. I've got a pump here. I'm going to pump a lot of the air out. That's actually going to preserve a lot of the nutrients, and it's also going to make this dressing stay fresh for longer. So I'm going to do a quick blend over here at the edge. High-powered blenders can be good and loud, so we have our ear protectors on, and when our little kid's in the kitchen here, we put his little ear protectors on. They have little bear ears on. They're so cute. So give me a moment. And you know, now that I've blended that up, I see that I usually put a little bit more in, so I'm actually going to get 2 more Roma tomatoes and add those as well. All right, so here we go. This is actually going to let the air out. You can see that come down a little bit, but that's a whole other story. This Roma was cut. This one I'm just going to throw in whole. Blender's going to do a good job with that. Okay, so now I have a large quantity of blended tomato and onion. It's actually about at the 56 ounce mark. Again, we're making a large batch here. So the next thing to add that's really key is sun-dried tomatoes. Now, you'll notice I said a handful or 2 in the recipe for those of you who see it. And what I usually say is a handful or 2 of sun-dried tomatoes. Make sure you get a kind that aren't in oil and don't have salt. They're the best. Some sun-dried tomatoes come kind of gooey. We soaked these, but even before you soak them, they're kind of flexible. Others, like when we make our own in the dehydrator, we dehydrate them till they're more crispy. So you don't need as many crispy ones to be as flavorful as the bigger ones. So I'm going to put those in, and then I am going to blend it again. And number 1, it's going to be more tomato rich and flavorful after I blend it again. And number 2, it's going to be a bit thicker. All right, so there we go. Now at this point, the dressing is quite a bit thicker. You can kind of see there, it'll pour, but it's really kind of thick. It's getting more like tomato paste instead of tomato sauce. So at this point, it's fantastic. You can add this to a dressing. You can pour it over zucchini, whether you want to spiralize them or shred them or whatever, and it's fantastic. Now, oh, and I forgot to say, the other version for adding the sun-dried tomatoes is what I actually usually do when I'm not doing a demo. And by the way, this is the first food demo we've actually ever done. It's a little makeshift. Chef AJ asked, and it's hard to say no. Again, we always love working with her and connecting with all of you out there. What I typically do is once I blend up the fresh tomato and onion, I'll put my dried tomato in here before I soak it at all, and then I'll blend it on low speed to chop it up just a little bit to increase the surface area, and then I'll let this sit for 5 or 10 minutes while I make my salad or do some other things in the kitchen. And that way, the dried tomato soaks up the blended tomato and onion and gets soft that way instead of doing it in the water. Because when I poured this out before, a lot of dark water came out, and my thought was that there was a good amount of flavor that I'm missing in that. And by the way, another tip is sometimes some sun-dried tomatoes, if they've been around for a while, can have a little bit of a bitter taste. So if you throw a date or 2 in here to add some sweetness to offset the bitterness, that can be really helpful also. So anyway, we've got a great thick dressing, dip, whatever you want to use it for. And then if you would like, this part is totally optional because some of you out there are like Chef AJ. You don't like to add hardly any concentrated fat sources to your diet, and that works really well for you. We like to add a little bit of healthy fat, and if you're so inclined, this is optional. You can add some chia seeds. I've got about 4 tablespoons here that I'm going to add to the top of the dressing. I don't know if you can see that visually. And then you can add a bit of walnut. This is a pretty good amount. I'm probably not going to add all these. I usually don't totally measure it. I guess I will. I look at the top and see how it looks. So now we are increasing the fat content and we're increasing the calorie density, and it's going to get thicker and creamier. So let me get this ready and blend it again, and then I'll transition right back. Okay, so there we go. Now at this point, you can see it's lighter in color because the walnuts and the chia seeds are lighter in color. The chia seeds are darker, but the walnuts are lighter, and we had a greater quantity of those. It's really good and thick. It doesn't even move much in the blender here, and it makes for a really, really rich and creamy salad. I'm gonna cheat with my finger here and taste a little bit. Oh my God, it's so crazy good. And it's actually extra crazy good to me right now because for 14 days before this, I just drank fresh juice that I made. So my taste buds are a little extra sensitive right now. The onion has a little bite initially, but if you wait an hour or so, once you mix it in with a salad or the next day, it mellows out and blends in, and it's really just absolutely amazing like this. Now, another option for added flavor without adding extra fat is you can add some dehydrated red peppers. They all, oftentimes people's pasta sauces include tomato and red pepper. If you add some of this also, it is just even crazy, better, more crazy good is what I'm trying to say. So that can be a really good addition. And we use dried red peppers in several other dressing recipes as well, because it's just so absolutely amazing. One more comment about the fat content. So I added a fair amount of walnut and chia seeds. And if you just take this dressing itself, close to 40% of the calories come from fat. So I wouldn't recommend eating this as a soup. But then when you pour it over a large quantity of vegetables, vegetables are low in calorie density, but you eat enough that the calories add up. You might get to about 30% of your calories from fat in the overall salad. With Dr. Karin and I, dinner time with our salad is really the only time of the day, with some maybe super rare exceptions, a time or two per year, that we eat concentrated fat sources. It makes the salad a bit more filling, but the rest of the day is fruits and vegetables that are very low in fat content. So our overall fat content for a typical day like this comes out to maybe the mid-teens, maybe mid to upper teens percentage of calories from fat. If you like to stay down there in the low double digits or 8-9% or so, no problem. Just add a little chia seed if you want, or just completely skip the concentrated fat sources. We hope you have found this dressing recipe useful. It's versatile. There's a lot of ways to do it. And to the extent that it helps you eat more vegetables, we would encourage all of you to go for it and eat as many vegetables as you can happily enjoy, that they will enhance your life in many ways.
And if you're looking for some more inspiration on how to add more vegetables into your diet, right now until May 12th, the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle 2024 is going on. And the way that you can access that is by clicking on the link that we have underneath this video. And it's an incredible value, $50 US for over 30 contributions. There's many more than that because several of the contributors have actually made it other contributions. It includes things like ebooks and e-courses.
Tons of recipes, probably hundreds of recipes. Any of these contributors on their own, it's about a $50 value each. And you get, 35?
Well, over 30.
Over 30 for $50 for all of it. It's truly ridiculous in the most positive way possible.
Absolutely. And we have a contribution for the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle this year. It's actually our Powerhouse Smoothie book, and it's brand new. And if you want to get more fruit into your diet, that can be a way to inspire you to do that, including a variety of different recipes that we have that we really love, just like we love the salad recipes that we shared with you here today.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, we love vegetables. We love fruit also, and we eat it straight. We make smoothies. We, all the above. We love getting fruits and vegetables in. Makes such a difference.
Absolutely. And then in addition to that, we also have our annual Raw Food and Plant-Based Mastery Summit 2024. And that is going to be going live on May 6th, and it will be going through until May 16th, after which we will have a replay. So if you are able to join us during that time, we encourage you to do so. Chef AJ is going to be speaking as one of the first speakers. She's on day one.
Day one.
Yeah. And if you are finding this video after May 6th, you can still access Chef AJ's video at the very end when we have our replay. So we would encourage you to go and sign up for that as well. There's a link underneath this video where you can go ahead and do that. And we hope that you'll join us. We have over 21 raw food and plant-based speakers, including doctors and chefs and a variety of different educators that talk all about the benefits of fruits and vegetables. So if you're new to this, or if you've been on the path for many years, it's a great opportunity to learn more about this lifestyle and get some inspiration.
Yeah, and just every year people give us feedback that things made sense, it cut through confusion, they feel so much more confident about what they're doing, they like the different perspectives, but we don't give wildly different perspectives where you come out confused. Things make more sense. And it isn't even $50. It's free to watch all those segments free. And if you want, for almost $50, for $47, you can purchase the summit and have lifetime access to all of the interviews. So it's both of these things, the bundle and the summit, are just phenomenal educational and inspirational and practical day-to-day resources that are available to all of you.
Excellent.
Good. So thank you all so much for your attention, and we're going to join Chef AJ again live. And if any of you have any questions or comments or anything to share, we'll be here to speak about it. And we hope to see you all purchasing the bundle and or joining us for our summit. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.